All right, everybody, let's do this thing. We are wrapping up the TONGA Omnium Series. Today is the third and final race, or the fourth and final race at the Criterium. We're going to ride along with myself today. FTP is 283, watts per kg 3.9, weighing in at 160, race age 33. Yeah, man, this was a really fun event. We're doing the Cat 3-4 race again. We were really excited about this Criterium for the wrapping up the end of the Omnium. For the race stats for this one, it was 44 minutes, right at 19 miles, with an average speed of 25.7. My normalized power was 296. This was definitely the hardest normalized power, the biggest normalized power I've had for the entire season. So definitely put in a huge effort and a big dig to perform for the guys and the team. We really wanted to do well for this one. And you guys will see, this is a long video, but it is action-packed. And from the gun, we're at the, I guess you pronounce it, Demorest Elementary School crit. It's a weird-looking four-corner crit. There's a downhill right here into a fast left-hander. We're starting off really fast. And, as always, in any crit, you better be lined up at the front, and you better be warmed up when you go, because we're going to hit the throttle really fast. It's always a good time. And Bryce and three guys are already kind of like rolling off the front, and I'm kind of okay with this. Look at the rear cam. The field is strung out like crazy. Take the left-hander. This is kind of a slight downhill, so you can kind of relax just a little bit and carry a good amount of speed. The course conditions or the pavement on this course isn't the greatest on some sections, but the corners like right through here, this is probably like the most rough corner. And there's a little bit of gravel right there on the right, but it's overall not too terrible. This is a really fun section of the course. It goes into a downhill to this massive, like, long left sweeping turn that kicks uphill, and you can rail this corner. So that's completion of lap one. All right, well, while we're hammering it, this is the last day of the Omnium, and Bryce is battling for a podium spot. So our goal today is to get Bryce in the position to get all the Omnium points he can and to help him with a great finish at the end. So me and Nick, we're chasing down stuff. Logan is in this race as well. He's just definitely here learning and having a good time. But as you can see, I'm already kind of starting to play games a little bit. I'm letting Bryce and two other riders kind of roll off the front right here, and I'm going to make some other riders kind of react to me. But as soon as other guys start going, catch a wheel real quick, hop in line, and we quickly reabsorb Bryce and leaders. We'll check the rear cam. We already have a huge break in the group. I want to say we only have like 10 to 15 guys already left in this main group. It got super strung out. We blitzed it pretty hard in that first lap. So give a quick recap. On day two, we had the hill stage, and right after that, we did a TT course. Bryce got, I believe he got second or third on the TT course, and that really just elevated him to the top of the Omnium, like really close up there battling for the lead. So our plan kind of changed today. And instead of like riding for me or Nick, all eyes went to Bryce. All right, jumping ahead. Those first two laps were lights out, and we've kind of reset a little bit here with 5 minutes in. We're kind of just sussing out the field a little bit. We've got Nick on the front, kind of setting a really good tempo, and Bryce is going to come up here on the left and throw in a little bit of attack to kind of really establish how fast this ride's going to be for the remainder of the race. So my goal right here is to really follow moves with all these Omnium leaders and these guys that are threatening the Omnium. So one guy right in front of me is this guy in the pink, the Cutters rider. He's on the white bike. He does have a teammate today that I believe was doing the 1-2-3 field and decided to come down to the 3-4 race to help support him. Right in front of the Cutters guy, we have this dark blue kit, white helmet. So honestly, pretty much everybody in the Omnium contention is you're going to see on the front the entire race. We have one Piedmont rider who has been lurking in the back this first part of the race, and we'll see him later in the action. So Bryce is a little bit of a flyer, kind of gets neutralized right here. So I want to kind of just come up and get in a really good position right here to make sure I can see everything, watch Bryce, how he's feeling and stuff like that. So Nick has been on the front and setting a really good tempo for us the last few laps as we jump ahead to 14 minutes into this 45-minute crit. We're feeling really spicy. Even though it's third day of racing, my legs are finally starting to come alive, so I punch in a quick attack right here on this slight downhill, take a slight gutter line. Nick's on the front, so it's a perfect time for me to throw in a little bit of a dig with a teammate on the front. He can control the tempo while I can intimidate the field a little bit. And as soon as that happens, riders identify that, they move around Nick, and we string the field out a little bit. This corner is so fun, guys. You can rip that thing at like 34, 36 miles an hour, and it's a huge kicker right here. So it takes a lot of power to get up this thing at a lot of speed. So in perfect fashion, I'm on the front. Bryce is going to do a slight counter, and now they just crossed the start-finish line, and they're ringing the bell for the first pre-lap. So we want to get Bryce all the points for this one. So he checks his shoulder, he sees that I'm on the front, and he kind of puts in a big of a dig, and I just kind of maintain my speed, maybe sit up slightly, but I'm not blocking or anything like that, and kind of set a false tempo, a false speed right here. And look at Bryce, he's kind of gone, and I'm actually really surprised that the rest of the field did not come around me at this point in time to chase down Bryce for those points. So these guys were pretty content. Now you see in the rear cam that we got some people fighting for some wheels coming around, and I'm trying to be pretty aggressive right here to stay in hold position to disrupt the rest of the field as they're battling for second and third for some Omnium points as we come to the start-finish line. I should have countered right there as soon as they let up. The Cutters guy timed it perfectly and came around me. In hindsight, looking back at this, that I should have jumped like he did, and I could have took some points away from these guys. Just a little bit of mistiming, but you can see we're digging 700 or 800 watts to the start-finish line right here, and that really hurt the field. We're a little strung out. Bryce has still a pretty decent gap, about 4 or 5 seconds, but we're going to reabsorb him. Everything's going to come back together, and but we're starting the race off really well. We're about halfway through, and things are looking really good for us. All right, pushing ahead, 20 minutes in. Nick again has been setting a really solid pace on the front, setting a good tempo on all the uphills and downhills for us. So I've been kind of in the back, kind of recovering right now. You can see my heart rate's down at 160, and if you know me and my high heart rate, that's like a perfect for me. As soon as we come across the start-finish line, a Cutters rider, the guy who's not in the Omnium race, goes up for a flyer, and the field and Bryce responds pretty quick to this. They're also, I'm pretty sure they just rang the bell for the additional preem lap right here. And so while we all kind of go really slow up this hill, I'm trying to figure out, like, all right, when are they going to go? Like, I got to get in position again to help Bryce to make sure that he gets as many points as he can for this preem lap. And now on this second one, guys are more and more competitive to get those points. And I don't want to, I'm hurting pretty bad right here. I just spiked up to 185 off that huge dig. And so I don't want to blow myself up right here coming into this preem lap, because I know I need to stay fresh to protect Bryce. I do a decent job right here kind of just disrupting, but all three guys that are in front of me, including Bryce, are fighting him for this Omnium points. But Bryce is in front right here. I'm pretty comfortable with this. I'm just going to maintain my speed, let these guys duke it out for this last Omnium point of the series, and put all my cards into the final part of the race. All right, everybody, jumping ahead. A few minutes later. All right, check to my left shoulder right here. We have this Piedmont rider in the black and green kit. We haven't seen him the entire race, and I've been kind of hanging out between like top 8, top 6, the majority of the ride. You know, cover moves, doing counters. And when I finally noticed him come up to the front, I'm like, okay, like I haven't seen him all race. What is he thinking? I know he's a super strong rider. He has a really good threshold where he can go out there and put a really sustained attack in. And I'm just kind of, you know, spidey senses tingling a little bit, checking and making sure I'm good, watching positions. As the field kind of slows up right here, we're kind of catching our breath a little bit, it seems like. You know, we're halfway through this thing. We have already lost probably 10 riders of the field, and we also lost Nick. So now it's down just to me and Bryce for Newtype. All right, we take this left-hander, and look at this. See the body language of Piedmont? I've got to cover this thing. 1,000 watts. This was super painful because we took that left-hander so slow that we just smashed it all the way up this hill. I get on a wheel really fast, and luckily, Piedmont rider, he doesn't continue his attack like over the top of this left-hander coming into this downhill section. So we ramp up the speed and we get to carry all this momentum, and we don't let him get too far away. So I feel like I got pretty lucky with that attack, and nothing came of it. All right, pushing ahead a little bit more, guys. So we've been doing counters left and right. Check the rear camera right here. We're gonna have a pink cutters rider come up hard on the left, and I'm a bit out of position. I'm shouting to Bryce, yelling up, letting him know there's a counter coming, and he responds to that perfectly. I see that he goes with him, so I'm gonna get in great position coming into the first left-hander right here. And what am I gonna do? I'm gonna try and do my best to control the speed of the field and do a soft tempo. Piedmont rider, the other guys in contention, sniff me out really fast. They go all around me. We get some chatter for some other riders. They don't know the games I'm playing. And unfortunately, this attack doesn't really go anywhere for Bryce and that cutters rider. All right, y'all. We are coming down to the closing parts of this thing. 30 minutes in, so we have just about 10 minutes left. I'm feeling pretty swamped. My heart rate is staying low. I'm feeling decent. Like, this course is just so good and so fun to you know, just smash this uphill, and then you get like a pretty good downhill the entire time. So I'm feeling pretty dicey. I really wanted to do an attack right here, but I kind of got the door closed right there just a little bit. But I want to keep the pressure on these riders that Bryce is racing with for contention. As soon as I see a little gap, I launch an attack up this hill, and I give Bryce a chance to kind of sag climb through the peloton and make some of these other riders respond, burn a match or two, and hopefully hurt their legs a little bit. It's not an amazing attack. It's nothing that's super sustained, but it's definitely going to hurt the legs. If you guys have hung on this long through this video, please hit the like and subscribe button. Send it to your grandma, send it to your buddies. Appreciate all the support. Hope you guys enjoy some of this footage on these cool courses that we get to go to here in the Southeast. All right, while we're kind of resetting, you know, Bryce is back there recovering a little bit. I'm completely fine with this. We're good with this tempo, covering wheels. I feel pretty comfortable like where we're at in position, how many riders are left, the work we've done so far. We've got the omnium points that we need. We just need to pull off a really good finish. And just as it happens, we have another cutters rider. This guy's not in contention. And so as soon as I realized that, I kind of like let off the throttle a little bit because I was super worried. Like, I couldn't let him go. But when I realized it was his teammate, I'm like, okay, I can let him go up the road. It's not super threatening. Like, if he happens to go away and stay away, it's no skin off our back. Like, those points aren't going to anybody. It's not a big deal. Luckily, we have some riders that are a little fresher or haven't been to the front that much in this race, and they're willing to do a little bit of work. We're going somewhat slow up this hill, but again, that's okay. The rider off the front, not a threat right now. I'm just kind of doing soft tempo right here, trying to read the field. It really doesn't matter how fresh I'm feeling right now. I just got to make sure Bryce is in the fields together to give him a shot to get to the front and win this thing. So I pull off. try to recover a little bit. Here comes up Bryce to my right-hand side. I let him know, hey, that guy up front's not a threat. Don't worry about him. But if you feel good, I was like, I feel like this is like the perfect amount of time right here with 10 minutes to go for you to maybe launch a counter, and that guy could potentially work with you if he doesn't realize that you're in contention for the Omnium. So that's kind of the mentality we're going off with right here. And booyah, perfect timing. Bryce throws a haymaker on the left-hand side. This hurts me just as much as it hurts the rest of the field. I want to make sure I'm in decent position coming into this left-hander, but other guys sniff this thing out and they file in as well. So I wish I was probably about 3 more wheels ahead so I could kind of disrupt a little bit more. But I do my best, catch a wheel. We're getting gaps in the rear of the field right here in the rear cam. But unfortunately, this thing comes back. Bryce does not stay away with the cutter's rider. We get reabsorbed. And yeah, we're 2 laps to go, guys. We just passed the start-finish line. And we're going to play the rest of this thing out for you guys. It's been a super dynamic race. Highly recommend coming out to Tonga. This course is awesome. Our Cat 3-4 field was great. A lot of the top guys were doing a phenomenal job on competing, communicating together, racing clean, all that stuff. So really enjoyed it. All right, we're in here. Coming up, we got one more time to come up this hill, and this time right now we're taking it nice and chill. 15 miles an hour. Everyone's looking around. Who's going to make the first move? Because you know when it goes, it's going to hurt. People are going to throw down on this thing. There's a lot of money at stake. There's a lot of bragging rights at stake on this one. And I'm feeling pretty gassed right here. I've got like just enough in me to like defend a little bit, but I don't have enough to maybe get on the front and, you know, give Bryce a lead out or give Bryce any disruption. And I do my best to follow Bryce's wheel right here on the left. We're moving up. Coming in at P5. He throws it in right here. Rip this corner at 33, 34 miles an hour. Smash it. And I should have known, like, guys were just threw a bomb coming to the start-finish line with one to go. P7 right now coming into this last turn. We're going to defend on this outside. Bryce is getting past a little bit right here. Got a clean line into this left-hander. And they just smash it up the front. And oh my gosh, this hurt me so bad, guys. And the leaders are just going. This guy on the right he says, I'm done. And he's falling back fast. The leaders are just drilling it. It's stretching out the field. I do not stay on the power like I need to come around this left-hander. And the race is up the road, guys. Check the rear cam. It's single file behind me. And all the guys that are in the Omnium are up the road. And they played their cards right. Even though we felt like we had a really dynamic race and made some guys burn some watts, it was not enough to shatter any of the leaders of the Omnium. And that's why they're the leaders, you know. So we're coming into this. This is about all I have right here. Nothing too crazy coming into this finish. Field is super strung out. It's shattered. What a brutal race. Put in a 900 watt dig is all I got. I come home piece 8 in the Criterium. Bryce does, with his finish today and the Omnium points that he got today in the Criterium, he does get the last podium spot for the Omnium in 5th. For the Omnium, I get 6th. Our teammate Nick gets 8th. So we're super psyched, man. What a great event. To come away with 5th, 6th, and 8th, and we felt like we had 3 to 4 races that were all very unique and individual for each of our riders. It was a really good time. Can't wait to come back to this one next year. Other than that, guys, appreciate you watching.